Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we are back again with another Alliance War video. It's New Nation against DSVG. So we're going up against several of fan favorite YouTubers with Sweden, Munash, and everybody else in DSVG. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, so my apologies there. So far New Nation is at record 3-2, so we are in the green, but obviously it hasn't been the perfect start of the season. But all of these Alliance War seasons right now are extremely close, extremely competitive. Like lost a war, like we won where we tied because of time. We lost a war by 1 death, and it's always super close. But in today's video, you're gonna see me do Munash's Weapon X dirty. Well, a bit. There's actually a funny thing about that fight as well that I'll mention later, but this is quite joyous. It is quite a nice view there. That's a mini boss at that. Either way, so let's rewind properly, shall we? Have quite a lot of fights today. I'm going to be using Archangel, Nimrod, and White Magneto. And I think I have about 10 fights in total. So we're going to be putting in some work, so we better get started, right? So I'm going to start in Path 2 in Section 1 and against Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw is the guy that wrecked me in one of the previous wars. And I'm not necessarily allergic to Ebony Maw, but I really don't like fighting him in Alliance Wars. Especially because he's always, on fairly tricky placements, things like that. So I'm going to boost up here, and we're going to use pre-fight from Magneto House of X. And again, this is going to be one more of those times where it just does not quite happen my way. And here I should not have gone for the second heavy attack. But the plan was to nuke him down. But I should have went in for a combo before I go in for a heavy attack. Because right now, I cannot get in the parry. He just goes in with medium, medium, medium. And because it's Ebony Maw, he actually doesn't give me even a full bar of power. It actually doesn't even give me a full bar of power. Also, I accidentally used the wrong boost. I was meant to be using Indestructible 3 boost. But I accidentally pressed on Power Start 1. There is a shift in this fight. Right around the time when I realized that I'm not even getting any power right here, when I decided to just go for it without trying to bait out special attacks, with just trying to lay in my combos. And I was seeing that my 2 neurotoxins are doing a ton of damage to him as is. So I just started playing like super aggressive, and I judged his health bar compared to everything else. And we finish him off in time. It was a bit scary fight to start the war, for sure. It definitely was quite scary fight there. Now we have Power Focus, Kitty Pride on Strike Counter, but it's Nimrod, so Nimrod doesn't really care for anything, and obviously this fight isn't going to last too long. I'm boosted, well enough as well. Not that I really have to with the rank 4 Nimrod going up against this Kitty. And here we are getting rid of her prowesses, and we're shocking her, and I make a mistake here. I meant to use a level 2, but I was just a slither below level 2. But at the same time, she has energy vulnerability on her now, and I really don't care too much. So I'm just going to go in for my parry here. She can get a couple of her furies, that's fine, and that level 2 is just going to be way overkill because I have plenty of armors. Now for the next fight, I end up waiting for pre-fights to be placed, because I'm going to get, I healed up my Archangel in between. But I have my teammate, Alliance leader actually, placing Odin's pre-fights for me, and also Magneto's House of X pre-fight for this fight. So it is Kraven. Obviously, Kraven reduces stun duration, so that's hard about him. And if you get shock, that's kind of painful as well. So we decided to go with Archangel here. So I got all 3 of Odin's pre-fights now placed on me, so I will be reducing the shock quite significantly. And then basically I just need to work around that masochism, and that's not going to be overly hard. I think I do make a slip up somewhere in this fight, but it's fairly straightforward fight. I don't really care about his furies or anything else. I just want to nuke him down as quickly as possible. Here he lays in on me a bit, but it's not the end of the world. And at this point he has several neuros on him. I do get a shock on me, but thanks to then Odin's pre-fight, doesn't really do any damage. He has 3 neuros. He's not really gaining any furies anymore, and job's done. Wasn't the prettiest fight. I definitely could have, played it better, but it's all good. Now we're going to be going after this Kingpin, and I get another White Magneto pre-fight placed for me, jumping in quickly. But there was a small delay, and that means I basically end up wasting invulnerability boost because of that. But it's fine. They are there to be used, and especially in these tight, close wars. All this time, we actually were behind. We were losing for the majority of the war. We died one time, and they just didn't die for like 100 kills or something like that. I think it was around 100 nodes they cleared, or 90 nodes they cleared without dying. So for most of the war, we ended up being behind. But here we can see that Archangel just absolutely nuked and melted that Kingpin. Now, Mixmaster Mordo is a crazy good placement. There are several things working actually for that Mixmaster Mordo, and if he gets to level 3 with those promises, you're basically kind of dead. And again, I didn't want to risk it, and so I end up using another invul boost. This war I used like 4 of them in total. But that's fine. Again, these are super close, super tight wars. I will scuff this fight up a little bit. The Kingpin fight went perfect. I had good RNG. Here, I knew that I can drop a heavy attack. Then, thanks to the pre-fight, I can go medium heavy. And then at some point, I just seem to forget that. I think it's because here his power gain still triggered. So I was in a mood to bait out the special attack, obviously, you know, and still, he's taking so much damage and Neuros are putting in work, but I'm trying to hit him while he's stunned, which was silly, because that stun was not a passive stun. But he's just dead. He's just melted. That was the mistake there. I tried to hit him on the Neuro stun, but it still triggered. Now, this is already the next morning, so that was it for the first evening. And we have to boost up again, and that domino is obviously... That domino actually can be cleared with Archangel as well, but if I have a rank 4 Nimrod, I'm going to use the rank 4 Nimrod. Only thing that I need to do basically is parry her a bunch of times and get to level 2. As soon as I'm at a level 2, she's dead. It's quite as simple as that. And we can see that she throws the first level 2 perfectly. And then I'm getting in a couple more parries. I actually want her to, you know, use level 2 ideally, so I'm not too fussed about it. But here, she just decides not to. So she's going to spend the entire power bar there, and she gets level 3. Now, I do have indestructible 3 boost though, so I was not worried at all whatsoever about it. Nimrod wouldn't probably take much damage anyways from this level 3. I'm like 99% sure that I wouldn't have suffered much damage to begin with because I was in the right phase, but still, indestructible 3 boost is, you know, just for safety reasons. Here again, a single level 2 and a mutant goes down. And this is even without Liquid Courage double edge masteries, which is actually something we're going to talk about towards the end of the video because I make a very silly mistake. Now I need to take Munash's Void again, so I'm up against another Munash, another one of Munash's defenders. So this is a fairly annoying node. Aspect of Evolution and Kinetic Transference, so every time you block, Void's gonna get more power, and if Void is throwing many special attacks, then it can be harder, you know, to get your hit combos in and whatnot. But within first 2 heavies there, I have 3 Neuros on that Void, and yeah, he's not gonna live long. He's not gonna live too long, is he? We have... Oh, there I made a mistake, and I realized that I made a mistake, and I specifically used it level 1 to kind of hopefully try and force him back a bit. Here we can see I hesitated a bit after my heavy attack. Here, because it is a max limber, so I parry him, I hesitated, I start charging the heavy late, I realized that he can punish me, and then I was tapping level 1 button to hopefully try and push him like away, and, you know, meanwhile, as that was happening, obviously, he was taking damage quite significantly, and even if he would start landing his combo, he'd probably be dead by end of it. So, and it was just instinctive way how to try and, you know, reduce potential risk of getting combo to the face, because when you face max limber, your heavy attacks need to go like that, snap. If you hesitate for a tiny bit, then, you know, there is a chance that the stun finishes before you land your heavy and they can just smack you in the face. Now I'm taking this Sasquatch here, and again, Archangel, pre-fight, Magneto pre-fight, yeah, and that Sasquatch is taking numbers. That Sasquatch is taking quite a lot of numbers. So I'm trying to bait out that level 2 from him, which is fine. So he used his level 2 finally, but at that point he's already at like 30% health. He gets stunned here. Now he does get some healing going, but I'm just going in for my level 1. Unfortunately, no neuros there, and I eat that level 1 to the face, but it's all good. He can use another special attack. He's at like 14%. He's stun immune, but those poisons have virtually reduced all of his healing anyways. And then I drop another heavy attack and the fight is over. Sasquatches are beefy, but obviously Archangel doesn't really care about that. So, and then I have final 2 fights. And final 2 fights, actually both are quite messy. So I did have a very busy war, which actually went quite well because I ended up using like 3 level 3 potions only for a 10-fight war. I see that as an absolute win. However, there were like small scuffy moments in pretty much every fight. And this fight is probably the worst one, to be honest. Because, you know, something was happening with my inputs. But everybody says that. So, I don't know. I was just not hitting my parries and not playing well. That's what we're going to stick with. So, this is the Safeguard Killmonger mini-boss. And obviously, with Killmonger, the tricky thing is that I'm going to be putting debuffs on him. So, he's going to be gaining a lot of power. The key is for him not to get stingy with his special attacks. However, again, Magneto House Effects pre-fight helps with that quite a bit. So that stun is passive, so I don't really need to worry about that. And I actually blocked the initial level 1, and then I realized that's probably a bad idea. I'm better off punishing it with my own heavy attack. And here we can see that I just ate that level 1 to the face. And I really don't know what happened here. So I get that level 1 to the face, and here I eat another one. Once again, let's rewind. So I parry heavy him, and here I eat that level 1 to the face. Indestructible 3 boost covers it. What happened here, though, however, seemed a bit odd. So I stand up, he attacks me, and this somehow wasn't a parry, or it didn't work. And then he dashes back and immediately uses another level 1 because that gave him poison, that contact with the block. And I didn't realize that he got another level 1, so he drops it to my face. However, there, I just use my level 1 to kind of get out of the corner, get some distance in between me and him, parry. At this point, he has like 6 poisons. Single heavy attack gives me like 2 neuros. Still has 6 poisons. That level 2 obviously is doing some damage in my block, but that's fine. I also run max inequity, so thanks to those debuffs, his attack is significantly lower than it would otherwise be, and I just finish out the fight because Archangel does Archangel things. So it was a bit of a messy fight, but it was also like very intricate interaction there, where I eat a level 1, take 1 hit in a block, and then he immediately dashes back and throws another level 1, and that definitely kind of confused me a bit. But that's because of Killmonger's passive power gain. That parry not registering, so I didn't stun him, get pushed back. And yeah, that was quite interesting for sure. And now we are going up against Munash's Weapon X. Here is actually a mistake that I made. I specifically changed my mastery setup so I would be ready to put on my Liquid Courage Double Edge for Nimrod for this fight, just to make sure that level 2 would absolutely destroy him. Here I do eat a few hits, but Nimrod doesn't care. And thanks to that combo that I ate, I got level 2 quicker, and it actually worked out better, to be honest. But yeah, I was meant to have this fight with Liquid Courage Double Edge on. And when I realized that I forgot to do it, I was actually worried that a single level 2 will not nuke down, because this guy is a mini-boss, obviously. But that's why you SIG 200 your Nimrod. That's why you SIG 200 your Nimrod. And yeah, that's it for my war. Even without Liquid Courage Double Edge, 1 level 2 was enough for a mini-boss. Which is, you know, cool. Okay, then this is how the war finished. The war was tight till the very last minute. We had the lead towards the end, but they were ahead in exploration. I think at some point it was 2-4. It definitely was 3-4, where we were winning. So 4 kills to 3. And then we died with about 15 nodes left to explore. We knew that we are winning on time, but still, the moment when you go 4-4 and other teams finished and they're done. And you know for a fact they're just spectating you and every one of your moments as my teammates are moving. It's a really intense kind of stressful war, which is the best kind of war. But yeah, because of the time, and we also knew that we had the time advantage, we ended up winning. We had some silly deaths though, must say. But either way, that is it for this war. So at the moment we are 4-2. Yeah, 4-2. And that's 2-1 win-loss ratio. We do need to do better. Hopefully we do. We'll try our best. But so far it's definitely not the best, but not the worst season thus far. And we actually made through all 10 fights relatively quickly. Right, and now we can jump to the spreadsheet. Again, Campo made it. I'll leave all the links in the video description to Campo's channel and this spreadsheet itself. So you can see that against DSVG, I had 4 path fights, 4 shared fights, 2 mini bosses, 10 fights total, no death there. I only used 3 level 3 potions, which is like very good. Which is very good, only 45,000 loyalty. And then when it comes to special power boosts, I did use one, but I really didn't need it because the single level 2 with Nimrod kills, it's just kind of like a habit at this point, but I really need to stop putting them on Nimrod because they're useless. They don't even give Nimrod back that much power. He only gets a little bit because most of damage comes from the shocks, not from the special itself. I really need to stop putting those boosts on Nimrod. But I did use 4 vulnerability boosts. But hey, the way I look at it, I used 4 invul boosts, but largely thanks to that, I kept my potion use low. So as far as the fights go, AA took 7 fights, Nimrod took 3 fights, and Nimrod is kind of like Nimrod and CG are like my most used champions this season, and then we can see that somewhere along the line we have Havoc, we have Nebula, we have Kingpin, we have Magneto, and Archangel now, and everything else is basically Nimrod and CGR, and the third champion's kind of rotating around. But yeah, that is it for now. Let me know how you guys are doing in this season, and I shall catch you guys later. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about